Thank you so much for visiting Riders United YouTube channel, and in today's episode I would like to talk to you about valve train noise and how to fix it. So if you are experiencing some strange noises coming out of your engine, please stick around and I will show you what I got. Here we go. You might experience some valve train noises coming out of your engine, and there are like multiple components that can cause these noises coming out. So I would like to talk to you step by step how you can identify what might cause this valve train noise and help you identify these issues and fix it later on. So number one will be the low oil pressure, and this can be caused by the oil pump not functioning properly, or in cases where you have the obstructed oil passages. This will also cause some of the issues because basically the engine is not being fed with the oil, so all these components working on the valve train will basically be starving for oil, and that will be just creating a lot of noise. The other one that is pretty common is actually the faulty hydraulic lifters. And this is the item that many times have to be replaced after about like 30,000 miles on the stock OEM products. So just keep that in mind. If you are doing maybe stage 2 or 3 or 4, make sure that you replace these hydraulic lifters, because it is always a good idea to have the new component there, especially if you will put a little bit extra pressure on your valve train. So this is pretty important to make sure that you have reliable components. The reason number 3 might be the bent pushrod or maybe multiple pushrods. So if you are working on your engine, make sure that during assembly you verify that those pushrods are nice and straight, so you don't have any excessive play in the valve train components that might cause these excessive noises. Or it might happen that you will have the incorrect pushrod length, because those pushrods are different length, and that will be the fourth reason or fourth thing to check on your engine to make sure that this is not causing the issue. Number 5 to check will be to verify that you don't have the rocker arm that is binding on the shaft. That will also create some excessive play in your valve train, and it can cause a lot of noise. So I have to say this is especially true after you are doing something to your bike and you disassemble some of those heads and some of the heads components. So it's always a good idea to make sure that everything is nice and tight there. The reason number 6 will be the valve sticking in the guide. So there is basically the guide that is holding the valve, and sometimes if you will have like poor clearance between those two components, you can have this valve that is sticking in there and basically just creating a lot of valve train noises. Another thing to check will be the worn chain tensioning spring or the worn shoe. So this is also a really important component of your valve train, that make sure that the chain is not just flapping around, that everything is nice and tight. So if you have the worn chain tensioning spring or worn shoe, yeah, this can also cause some issues and a lot of excessive noise coming out of your valve train. Number 8, it will be worn cams or cam gears or cam bushings. If you have any loose components related to your cams, yes, you definitely will experience some of the issues with excessive noise. So yeah, it's really important to make sure that you have proper tolerances between those components, and it will allow you to quickly identify if maybe the noise is coming from there. Another thing that can cause excessive valve train noise will be the incorrect cam timing. So you have to make sure that when you are putting all these components in your engine together, that the cam timing is properly adjusted or set when you are installing the cams. Because yes, if there is any issue with the cam timing, that can cause a lot of bad situations in your engine. And even if this timing is slightly off, it will create a lot of noise, or it might create some serious damage later on. Another thing that you might check might be the loose valve seat in the head. I have to say this is probably really rare, but in cases that you identify all these other components and everything else was fine, yes, it might be the case that you will have the loose valve seat, which is basically the ring that is installed in your head that allow the valve to kind of like sit on it. So if this element for whatever reason is loose, yes, it can create a lot of like banging noises, or a lot of like kind of like ticking noises as well. So this is really important thing to check, but the chances of having a loose valve seat are rather slim to none. And the last thing to check will be excessive clearance at the cam bearings in the crankcase or the cam supporting plate. This is one of the things that can also cause some of the issues for you. If you run this list one by one, you for sure will be able to identify what is wrong with your bike and just address this issue. What I would like to add in here, that unfortunately none of those repairs will be easy to do, because they will require some serious disassembly of your engine to verify if those components are fine. But at the same time, you would like to make sure that you are replacing components that are unfortunately broken, rather than just starting to replace multiple components guessing. So you can also use the stethoscope when you are identifying those issues, and basically listen to your engine to try to find out where the noise is coming from. And in many cases it will be somewhere in the heads, it will be also the cam chest that will be probably pretty good suspect with these components installed in there, and the push rods. But yeah, the push rods are really easy to verify. You can just roll them on the nice flat surface like a glass, and you will be able to say if they are like bent or not. And yes, as far as length, they are also many times color coded. So just make sure that you pay pretty close attention when you are assembling your engine. The tappets are probably the most common issue that many of us will experience, and actually we see this we see these questions on the motorcycle forums quite often. And yes, that might be the main reason for such an excessive noise from your valve train. So hopefully this video will help you identify any potential issues that you might have with your bike that will allow you to fix the valve train issues and just get rid of these unpleasant noises. And what I think is important to note is that some of this valve train noise is actually normal, especially during the startup, before the engine will build up the pressure. So this is really important to keep in mind, because during this first 20-30 seconds when you start your engine, yes, it will be a little bit louder initially, but later on it should quiet down and be relatively quiet. And also putting those really hot rod cams and the push rods that are adjustable, yes, I noticed that it will also create a little bit more of the valve train noises, but I will say this is normal as long as this is kind of steady and it's not excessive, because yes, this engine will be a little bit louder. So please let me know what do you think. Please leave the comment below, and I always really look forward to hearing from my audience and what you guys experience, and maybe you can give me some additional tips. And if you didn't have the chance to subscribe yet, please like and subscribe. You have the subscription icon on the right corner of your screen. I currently have over 300 uploads, so I really hope that you will find something interesting for yourself and you will join our community. So this is everything that I have for you guys today, and I will see you on the next one. Ride safe, and please visit the channel again. Bye bye.